How's it going, guys and gals? I am Twigger with another High ELO Champions game, the series where I feature an unconventional pick being played at the highest of ELOs. Well, not really the highest, but Diamond 1 for this game, very high ELO, and I focus on unconventional picks and see how they do. Are they viable? Can they still be played in the current patch? And this time we're featuring Nautilus in the jungle, and now Nautilus was actually played a lot back in Season 3. He was a very strong jungler. He was actually, I think, more present in Season 2, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm trying to remember when he came out, but I remember people like the Odd One used to love jungle Nautilus because his dredge line gave him insane mobility. His ganks were phenomenal when you had his lockdown from his passive after hooking somebody with a dredge line, and then also your Riptide, your E, being able to slow everybody down. He was a very, very strong jungler way back in the day, but now he's kind of fallen off. He doesn't really provide the amount of damage that you want. He really can't duel in the jungle if you get encountered by somebody, like your opponent's jungler. So kind of like Maokai in a sense that he kind of just fell off the face of the jungle planet. So we're seeing him now being played by Mr. Pyro. He is a Diamond 1 player. And we're going to see how he can kind of hold up. He is going against a very strange pick, an even more strange pick than Jungle Nautilus, and that's a Jungle Akali. So I'm pretty excited. You guys should be pretty excited too. It's kind of like a double High ELO Champions game where you're seeing two very unconventional picks. And it's going to be really fun to see which one of these people ends up doing the best for their team, see how their ganks go. It's going to be really cool to watch. We also have another kind of unconventional pick, which is Fiddlesticks in the mid lane. So this whole game is pretty much a High ELO Champions game for me, which I'm very, very excited to be commentating on. I have seen Fiddlesticks in the middle every so often, but certainly not what I would consider a current meta champion. But we have down here a pretty standard bottom lane, Thresh and Caitlyn versus Vayne and Morgana. Really nothing overly special about that one. And then up in the top lane, of course, you got your standard bruisers, Nasus and Shyvana. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, but it looks like we have our Nautilus going for his first gank of the game. I'm going to be doing it in this bottom lane, seeing that Vayne is already pretty low. They might try to do something here, but it looks like the blue team is actually just kind of backing off this one. So, let's see, Nautilus. I want to actually see how he takes down this white camp, because normally you need somebody with some pretty good damage to take these things down quickly, but it looks like Nautilus isn't doing too bad of a job taking that thing down. The red buff definitely helping him out. Same with his Titan's Wrath, but looks like Thresh taking a turret shot there. Nautilus is going to come back down here, maybe try to do a gank. Looks like Akali's going back, so there's no chance for a counter gank here, but Nautilus just kind of waddling his way up here. Don't know if anything is actually going to happen. Oh, there's the binding onto Kate, though. Here comes Nautilus. A great grab. Oh, hook coming from the Nautilus from the flash. Looks like Vayne taking a ton of damage, having to pop that berry. The flash coming up from Caitlyn is going to get the first blood, but it looks like Nautilus might be able to get this one back. He gets a kill. There's a great binding from the Morgana onto a huge black shield going onto the Nautilus, but it looks like this is going to be a double kill. Come on, Nautilus. Get it, get it, get it. Yes, Mr. Pyro, the jungle Nautilus, getting a double kill. So working out in favor of that purple team. Caitlyn doing a great job, though, making sure to get that first blood onto the Vayne. But double kill going to our jungle Nautilus, our featured player of the game. Very exciting to see. And as we could see right there, especially comboed with a Morgana landing those great dark bindings, man, Nautilus just does a great job landing his Qs and bringing himself right in there, slowing people down. It's very hard to escape a Nautilus gank when he gets in there. But that was also a great flash hook. Well, flash dredge line, I guess. But, yeah, a lot of people have actually been asking me, and I'll explain this right now, why at the bottom it's currently 18 minutes into the game and I'm only been commentating for 5, and people have been asking me, why do you leave it for so long? Why don't you just start commentating? And people are asking me, did you already watch it? Do you know what's going to happen? I have no idea what's going to happen in the game. The reason that I get into these games and then I let it go for a little bit is because once I load into the games, I want to actually look up the player that I'm going to be commentating. Does he play this champion often? What's his ELO? What's his standard build strike? Well, his standard build path. But then I also want to look up the actual skills of the champion, because I haven't played Nautilus in God knows how long, but I'm not going to talk about that for right now. A great hook coming out of the Nautilus once again, locking him down with that pass of the flash. Going to have to come out of the Shyvana. I don't think they're actually going to be able to kill her here. No, they're not. But what I was just saying, I also have to look up the name of the champion's abilities and all the details about that champion, because I haven't played Nautilus in forever. So I do have to look these things up, so that way I'm not just saying, oh, a great Q. I have to be able to say a great dredge line. But look at the damage going on to the Vayne. Going to be taken down. Barrier still on the Caitlyn. I guess she did not use that in that first blood attack, but Nautilus getting in. You're going to lock down with the passive. Not going to be enough, though. The hook did miss. But so that's why I leave it going for a little bit. I get into the game to make sure that the game doesn't proceed any longer so I don't miss the first blood. So if I get into a good game, I sit here and then I start doing my research and stuff, and then I come back to the game once I think that I know enough to actually do a commentary, and then I'll just start going. So no, I don't know what's going to happen. But I just wanted the commentary to be a little bit more full for you guys rather than just constantly saying his Q and give you a little bit more detail about the champion that we're commentating on. But the main thing about Nautilus, I would say, is that he's kind of like most junglers nowadays, is that when you get your level 6, your ganks are terrifying. That depth charge does so much work, knocking people up, and then it pretty much sets you up perfectly for a great dredge line. And it gets you in there, use your E, use your Titan's, is it Titan's Wrath? Titan's Wrath. And really locks people down so well. And if you have somebody like a Morgana, that's going to be so much CC and allowing Morgana to get her full proc off on her ultimate. So it's going to be a pretty interesting combo once we get into this the later game. Syndra, we all know when she gets, well, when she starts playing with all of her balls, if you're following me. Yeah, okay. I think we've all heard the ball joke on Syndra long enough. But looks like we do have a gank coming in here in the bottom lane. Thresh has separated himself completely from Caitlyn. I think he just wants to drag these guys away, save his ADC. The Condemn from the Vayne not actually going off the way that she wanted to, and this might actually be a failed gank. It looks like it will be, so Caitlyn just doing a ton of damage to the Vayne in the back. And it's just going to thwart the gank completely. But it looks like Syndra might actually be using her ultimate. There it is, the burst damage coming out of that. Oh, here comes the jungle Akali. She is level 6, so her ganks are going to be pretty good. She doesn't have any hard CC, though, but here comes the depth charge coming out of Nautilus. The lockup from his passive, and that's going to be a kill for our Nautilus, 3-0-0. And just, yeah, his mobility now is just insane. With those mobility boots, he's a bit tanky, and his CC is just incredible. But it looks like the Akali just tried to rush into level 6, so that way her ganks could actually do something. But here comes Nautilus! The box being dropped down by the Thresh. This is going to be a kill. Rampage for our jungle Nautilus. And oh my god, Morgana, come on. You've landed a bunch of clutch bindings, and then you miss a point-blank one. Damn it, Morg. But, it's always great when you're doing a commentary like this in my High ELO commentary or in my High ELO Champions series when your featured champion does well, because I want to see what a Nautilus can do. And it's not really a whole lot of fun for me to commentate or for you guys to watch if the person just ends up getting destroyed. Because we're not really learning a lot, but right now we're really learning the strengths of Nautilus. His gank potential is still incredibly strong, but here comes Akali. She is going to have another charge of her Shadow Dash. The ultimate being forced out of the Vayne, that's going to be a kill. Lol, that funny picking up that. The Thresh not getting an assist there, did miss his hook, but it looks like with a jungle Akali, you would have to get that level 6 very quickly, because that's the only real way that you can gank, because she has no hard CC. Which is very different than Nautilus, but she does have an incredible amount of burst damage. And with that Fiendish Codex, that cooldown reduction, she's going to be getting her Shadow Dash fairly quickly. And if she can just pop somebody down, get a couple more charges of that, I can see how she could be a pretty good ganker. But I'm assuming that she's going to really be relying on her red buff, especially for when she comes in for these ganks, because of that lack of CC. But the chase potential, if you get your red buff, should be pretty good. We have the standard matchup up here, Shyvana versus Nasus. Not anything exciting right now because it's very, very even in CS. They're both just farming away. It looks like Shyvana going for the more aggressive build rather than tanky, so going to try to get that Blade of the Ruined King pretty early. The stun landed. She tried to juke it, but it did not work. She almost has her Dragon's Descent up, but he's not going to be able to actually get it out. That's going to be a kill for... Oh my god, I just read his name. Rectum Seeker. Oh, what kind of a name is that? Oh well, so yeah, we have a kill in the top lane. Oh no, Rectum Seeker's in trouble. But it looks like Rectum Seeker's actually doing a pretty good job against this Akali. She's taking so much damage from Rectum Seeker. I don't even want to call him Nasus anymore, but that's going to be a kill, so there you go. Nasus is picking up another kill, Akali just being taken down from that one. I don't know if she thought that Nasus's ultimate had been used already in that previous gank, but, oh wow, so the Morgana ultimate coming out, but not actually being used for the second proc. She's now, oh Jesus, this is a weird fight. Caitlyn used her ultimate, but it looks like Vayne is going to get in here. The Morgana going to pick up the kill, and it looks like Nautilus is going to use the depth charge onto the Thresh. And it probably is going to be a dead Thresh. The flash coming out. Oh, here comes Fiddlesticks. Surprise! No, Nautilus, no! Double kill for the Fiddlesticks. Our Nautilus is dead. But Syndra coming in and picking up the Thresh, being at very, very, very low life. And the flash having to come out of Morgana. But here comes a Kali. Oh, that's going to be one dead Syndra. So, oh, not the best fight for our Nautilus or the purple team. Great surprise party. Fiddlesticks ultimate coming in on that one. And it looks like this might actually be the dragon for the blue team. It looks like that's what they're going for. With a Fiddlesticks, you have to remember, dragons are so easy. See, it's not taking any damage, and they're just draining the health down. So, once again, just draining. That's going to be the first dragon of the game in favor of this blue team. So, it's been a pretty eventful first 12 minutes of this game, 6-9. Get it? It's a sex thing. And it looks like the Fiddlesticks is actually going to get brought in by this Nautilus. A great Dark Binding landing from the Morgana, but she is nearly out of mana. She's going to have to get away from this one. Nautilus is now in a bit of trouble here, taking a ton of damage from the Akali. She does already have her Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, so she is going to be doing quite a bit of damage, and it looks like the Shyvana is going to use her Dragon's Ascent over here, but she's putting herself in a horrible position. That's going to be a dead Shyvana. Don't really know what that was. I guess she thought that with the Ignite she might have been able to take down Nautilus pretty quickly, but he is quite tanky. So, yeah, I don't exactly know what she was thinking there, but allowing Nasus to just sit up in the top lane and free farm is the exact last thing that you want to do, because Nasus, for those of you who don't know, I know this is going to be kind of League 101 here. Every time he uses his Q, his Siphoning Strike, that big blow that he does, he creates stacks when he gets a kill on a minion with that ability. And as you guys can see, he's already at 204 bonus damage. So every time he kills a minion with that Siphoning Strike, he gets more damage on his Siphoning Strike. So you can already see when he uses that, it chugs down the turret so damn quickly. And the longer he's allowed to do that and to keep on building up his Siphoning Strike like he did just there, he's going to get so much stronger. And that Q is just going to be hitting a Kali or somebody squishy for like half their HP. It's always really fun to watch. But he's doing a great job at farming it up. But it looks like the Akali's coming up for a gank. I do not believe that Nasus is going to be able to get away from this one. There's going to be a dead Nasus, nearly killing the Shyvana though, so that's some scary stuff. The ultimate coming out of Morgana, but Vayne going to be the one picking up that kill. If Morgana can land a nice Dark Binding, she did just use her, oh, what the hell is it called? Frost Queen's Claim to slow him down. Nautilus is coming in now, gonna land the hook. Vayne going to be not picking up that kill, but Mr. Pyro on that Nautilus picking up the kill for his team. Two-person assist as well. They're definitely starting to edge in the gold lead a little bit, but Shyvana looking like she's going to do a little bit of proxy farming behind the turret. But the Nasus using his teleport to get back up into the lane, and now Syndra in a little bit of trouble, is now just standing there. I don't know what. What? Was that like a DC or something like that? What the hell just happened? But Syndra being taken down, not entirely sure what happened there. Maybe was typing something, or maybe she DC'd. I'm not entirely sure. I would have thought that we'd see Syndra is disconnected if that was the case, but I am not sure what happened there. But yeah, it still happened. Maybe she got feared? I don't know. I am a little bit confused by that entire scenario. But Akali actually not doing a horrible job. I would have thought that jungle Akali would have just got her ass handed to her. But not actually doing too bad of a job, really using her shadow dashes appropriately to get these kills off and make these ganks worth something. And she's already back in top lane. Nasus does have his ghost available. And he might very well need to use it because he does not have his ultimate right now. He did use his ghost and is trying to get away from this one. The shadow dash once again coming out of Akali. Oh my god, the damage from this Siphoning Strike. So it looks like Shyvana's trying to take up this turret, is not going to get Nasus yet. The Morgana is here now, though. Misses her Dark Binding. If she had landed that, it probably would have been a kill. But there we go. The Frost Queen's Claim coming out once again to slow her down, do a little bit more damage. Surprise Party Fiddlesticks coming in. The Ignite on the Syndra. An amazing Thresh hook. But that's going to be a killing spree going towards that Syndra. Now being shut down. Well, shutting down the Fiddlesticks at least. Shyvana had been taken down by a Nautilus gank with the Morgana, and Vayne still in this lane against this Thresh. So a 2-for-1 in that entire fight, going from top lane into mid lane. And wow, Nautilus being so mobile with those boots of mobility. It's just getting to these fights. Well, they're just kind of going on. So definitely a good item to have on this Nautilus. Oh, the Morgana binding missing. And so much damage. Block this one. Oh my god, those are always nerve-wracking situations. Please block it. Please block it. So Vayne not doing too well against this Caitlyn, I've got to say. She has far too many assists and would like more of those kills because Vayne is just a late-game terror when you get her a little bit ahead. But Caitlyn doing a great job with her CS, 110 to the 81 of the Vayne. And Caitlyn's just one of those siege champions that when you get her in front of a turret with a couple minions, she will just wreck your turrets. And look at that, already bringing, well, if that had hit, would have brought her to about half HP. Pink ward's being cleared out, but here comes the Nautilus. Look how freaking fast he moves. Oh no, Akali, you are gonna get hurt. The pink ward coming out as well, and that's gonna be one dead Akali. Not really a lot you can do when you get pink warded in your shroud, but that's kind of the way that you deal with Akali, is that you put those pink wards down and, well, then you kill her. So it looks like everybody's just kind of grouping up in this mid lane. Besides the two bruisers, of course, they're going to stay top lane and just keep on kind of poking around with one another. Looks like looks like I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, sorry about that. Oh, a great little 90 caliber net to get away from that Nautilus hook. Caitlyn taking quite a bit of damage, and now it looks like NASA's taking a little bit of damage here too. But look at that Q damage, holy crap. Thresh hooking in this this Nautilus, but he is going to be taken down very, very low. I think this is going to be a dead one. Yep, the triple proc from that the silver bolts coming out of Vayne is going to be enough to pick up that Thresh. Finally getting some of her well-deserved kills. Depth charge coming out onto the Thosix. Going to have to use the Zonias. It looks like Nautilus is going to be taken down by the Akali. And now Morgana's having to flash away from this one because she was just taking too many turret shots. But it looks like, oh, great stun coming out of the Syndra to make sure that Akali was not able to jump on her. But she is still going to be able to jump on her, but that's going to be a kill. The Ignite going down onto... Is there Ignite? No, there's not an Ignite. Sorry, I'm reading this completely wrong. That was the Q proc onto Syndra there. But now a double buff Syndra, that's some scary stuff. And she's already sitting at 6-3-3, having a great game for herself and over 30 CS above the mid-fid. Mid. But here comes the surprise party, and that's going to be a dead Syndra. This is going to be a dead Morgana as well. You know what? This Fiddlesticks has had some phenomenal ultimates in this game. Really playing these out well. Every time he seems to ult, he gets a kill or normally a double kill, it seems. He's sitting at 5-2-2. Rush that Zonia's Hourglass, which is definitely a smart choice on Fiddle. Using that ultimate does put you in a precarious situation, especially with the CC coming out of people like Morgana, out of Syndra when you land that one, out of Nautilus. So being able to pop that Zonia's Hourglass and stay in the team doing damage is definitely a key factor to playing a good Fiddlesticks. Looks like Nautilus getting hooked over the wall a little bit here. We do have two hooks in this game, which is always fun to watch. Battle of the hookers. So there is a pink ward in this brush. It looks like they are just going to clear this one out. Don't want those things being alive any longer than you, well, than you want them to. They should not be alive for very long if you do see them. Because the longer they're alive, the more value they're getting for those teams. But it looks like we do have Shyvana in this mid lane now. She was going to apply that dragon pressure, which is now live. But Fiddlesticks now rotating to take down this middle turret. But it looks like the purple team is going to respond to this one and might actually be able to pick up a kill here. Shyvana did go back to the top lane. Thresh now being taken down. It's going to flash that Syndra stun, which is a very good play. But here comes the Akali taking a ton of damage. Going to be able to take down this. No, not going to be able to take her down. She is going to survive with barely any HP. She is alive. And it looks like just going to run away from this one. A big black shield coming off onto the Nautilus from Morgana. God, I just seem to not be able to speak today. But while this is all going on, Nasus and Shyvana just kind of staying in this top lane, bullying each other as much as they can. Thresh getting a dark binding on, but Vayne getting hooked in, taking so much damage, having to pop that barrier. Going to be taken down by the Ignite, but Caitlyn actually being the one to pick up that last hit. Fiddlesticks is going to survive with that. Zonia's another dark binding being used onto the Caitlyn. The Thresh coming in using a great flay. The Riptide coming out to try to slow everybody down, but Morgana is definitely going to die here. The Thresh picking up the last hit on that one, and that was a 3-for-0 on that. So huge fight for this blue team, and that's going to secure them another dragon, which is, I think, going to put them into the gold lead, if I'm not mistaken. The, oh my god, the freaking Nautilus getting in there with his Q is going to actually have enough with that smite to take down the dragon, steal that one for his team. He is going to pay for it with his life, but that is just a 1 kill for dragon that is completely worth and keeping that gold lead in favor of the purple team. So way to go, Nautilus, using that dredge line to come into range of his smite And Akali wasn't there, so they did not have a smite themselves, and he's just going to secure that dragon. Very, very well played on the jungle Nautilus's part. God, love it when your feature does a good job. Way to go, Nautilus. You deserve a pat on your little scuba back. Taking a little sip of my water there. Fiddlesticks picking up his blue buff. And I think he's probably going to be building into a Rabadon's Death Cap. But not going to talk about that right now because... oh my god, the damage coming out of this Nasus is just insane. But it looks like he is going to be taken down. If he had gotten one more Q, that Akali might have been dead. But looks like Vayne now coming in, trying to support this lane. But she was a little bit too late. And it looks like Nasus now being bullied around a little bit. He is still over 20 CS ahead of this Shyvana. But has lost 2 lives being up in that top lane. So 17 to 18 is the kill score of this game. 37.3k to 35.5k in favor of the purple team. And 2 turrets to 2 turrets. This screams long game to me. Which I would be very excited if it was a very long game. But the longer this game goes, the more I'm gonna... oh, you know, it's so tough to say who I think is going to win in the late game. Because the purple team does have this Vayne, which the later the game goes, the scarier Vayne gets. But I would also say the same for Akali. And right now she is... just kind of doing a good job. She has died quite a few times. The pink ward counter has been very, very good from the purple team in these fights. But the one thing that I'll give in favor of Akali in the late game is that she can stick onto Vayne like nobody's business. So as fed as Vayne is going to get, they're going to have to find some way of dealing with Akali on the Vayne. Which can sometimes be very, very difficult. They do have a Morgana, which is going to help, putting that black shield on her, and the Nautilus may be locked down. But here comes... oh, there's actually 2 guys going on here. Akali going to be taking down the Syndra in the mid lane, and it looks like Nasus taking a ton of damage. Is so far going to stay alive, but no, Shyvana is going to flash for that one and pick that one up. Thresh now offering the Lantern. Nautilus is going to have to get the hell out of this one. He does get feared by the Fiddlesticks, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. Nasus being taken down 3 times now. They're doing a really good job at camping him out. But Caitlyn now taking a shot in the face from Morgana's Dark Binding. Thresh might try a hook over the wall. Oh my god, just barely didn't land onto that Vayne. And it looks like Nautilus is just kind of waddling around here trying to see what he can do. Akali going to try to take down that ward. Not really going to happen, but is going to get Dark Binding, take a little bit of damage. Nautilus is now kind of 1v1ing this Shyvana. He does have the red buff, but here goes the Akali onto the Vayne. And that's exactly what I was talking about. It is so damn difficult to lock down that Akali off of your Vayne. And she gets another kill onto the Morgana. And it looks like also in the top lane, the Fiddlesticks managed to take down the Nautilus with the help of Shyvana. And it looks like Syndra now is going to be in a really bad situation. The ultimate farm Syndra not going to be enough. Oh, but the Nasus Q is going to take down the Caitlyn. And it looks like he's now chasing down onto this Thresh. But oh, he actually just manages to steal the Blue Wraith. But oh my god, this Nasus damage is insane. Puts down a pink ward, gets hooked in. It might actually put him in range of this Akali. Come on, Rectum Seeker. The flash having to come out of the Akali. Now he's doing a ton of damage to this Thresh. Might be enough to actually take him down. Another Q. If he gets one more Q, but the Talisman of Ascension being popped, and it looks like now Nasus might be in trouble. He does get the kill onto the Akali, but now Fiddlesticks going to try to drain. The red buff proc is on, but it looks like, oh, here comes Shyvana. That's going to be a kill for Shyvana. 3-person assist on that Nasus kill, and Nasus only managed to get 1 person down on that, so definitely not a worthwhile trade. And now we finally do have a gold lead in favor of the blue team. 5 turrets to 2 and 3k gold lead in favor of the blue team. So we still are only 25 minutes into this game. It is certainly still anybody's game at this point. But wow, it has just been action-packed. 24 to 20 in the kill department. But let's just start looking at some of the items here. Nasus is very, very tanky. Nearly has his ice gauntlets there. His frozen gauntlets? Frozen gauntlets. It did manage to go for the Spirit Visage first. He will be getting a good amount of sustain from that, keep him alive for a little bit longer. Having the Giant's Belt as well, keeping him alive for quite a bit longer with that extra health. Shyvana now finally building tanky after that Blade of the Ruined King buy. Does have the Spectral's Cowl and also has the Sunfire Cape, so getting a good amount of magic resist and armor from that. And of course, when she pops Dragon's Descent, her ultimate, she is going to be alive for much, much longer. But Akali going some big damage here. The Spirit of the Spectral Wraith with that Hex Tech Gunblade. And also going for a Giant Spell, so wants to stay alive a little bit longer. She's getting popped a little bit quicker than she would like. But then we also have the Nautilus there who's just going for straight tank with that Banshee's Veil and the Spirit of the Spectral Golem. But Akali, once again, looking at this Shyvana. The bullet managing to hit the Morgana rather than the Syndra. They wanted that on the Syndra, but it looks like they are going to kind of thwart this attack from the Akali. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Akali, when she gets very strong, is going to start to be able to burst people down very quickly. And she just has this relentless pursuit on people. And it's very hard to deal with if you don't have very coordinated CC. And the lucky thing on the purple team that I will say is that they do have a ton of CC. And they also have a lot of pushbacks, and so, you know, you do have tools to deal with this Akali when she jumps in on the Vayne or one of your carries, but it's going to have to be very well coordinated. Caitlyn being caught out here a little bit. The teleport actually coming in from Nasus, the depth charge going off, and that's going to be a kill. And it looks like Shyvana now in a bad situation. Vayne is trying to kite away, doing a little bit of a scoot and shoot, and Shyvana is now going to finally run away from this one. But this is going to be a dead Shyvana. But the party Fiddlesticks is coming over with a great ultimate over the wall. Shyvana going to be taken down by the Nasus, but it looks like Fiddlesticks is now in a bad situation. But Akali is going to jump in onto this Vayne, but is going to be taken down by the ultimate from the Syndra. And it now looks like this might be an ace. Thresh going to be taken down. Not quite yet. Syndra is going to get the stun down, and this is going to be one dead Thresh. And that was a 5-for-0 ace. That was perfect for the purple team. And now they're opting to go for the Baron, take this one down, and then start pushing and gaining some more objective control. But that was just a perfect fight. Catching that Caitlyn out and then people just going in one by one from the blue team just was not the right idea for them to actually win that fight. And Vayne stayed alive for so long, and that was the big issue right there, is that people kept trying to get in at the Vayne, but she was doing a great job scooting, shooting, and kiting away from these damage guys and getting away from that one and managing to still do a ton of damage. And that's exactly what this purple team needs to do. They need to protect the Vayne and the Syndra, and they have all the CC they need to do that. And with Nasus being in the back line doing so much damage with his siphoning strike, it's going to be a hard thing for the blue team to deal with. So I think both of these teams and the compositions have their own kind of merit to them. But it's going to be interesting to see when it comes to the late game which team is actually going to triumph here. But we now do have an about 3k gold lead in favor of the purple team and that Baron buff. So we're definitely going to need to see how this purple team utilizes that Baron buff for the next couple minutes. See if they try sieging down a turret. You know what, now that I look at it, the blue team does not really have great wave clear. You really just kind of have the Piltover Peacemaker, the Q coming out of the Caitlyn, and the bird, the Stormcrow coming out of Fiddlesticks. What the hell is that thing called? It's going to drive me nuts. Darkwind, there we go. So it's not really the best wave clear I've ever seen on a team. So they very well might have a pretty good siege onto some of these turrets and just wait for either Nautilus to land a hook or for Morgana to land a binding. But the only issue I would say is that Vayne does have a pretty close range, so it's going to be very difficult for these guys to actually push some of these turrets. The Zhonya's being popped by the Fiddlesticks, definitely a good thing to have down. They now have about a minute to make a play on this Fiddlesticks without him being able to stop this. But it looks like Caitlyn being taken by a Dark Binding, but oh my god, the damage coming down from this Caitlyn. Jeez, it is a ton. The ultimate coming out, going to be blocked by the Morgana. Good guy Morgana. Well, good girl Morgana. Akali now being taken by a Dark Binding, but it looks like just a lot of damage is coming down. The depth charge going down onto Akali, but Syndra's going to be taken down. Dragon's Ascent coming into the back line. Vayne is still alive, though, doing so much damage. Going to pick off the Shyvana. Akali going down to the Morgana. The surprise Fiddlesticks is coming up, but he does not have his Zhonya's, but he is going to be able to take down the Morgana. Vayne is still alive. Caitlyn taking a ton of damage. A triple proc from the Dark Bolt. Sorry, the Silver Bolt is coming up, but she's going to be taken down by the Thresh. Looks like Nautilus is now going to have to run away from this one. Nasus is going to come from behind. Rectum Seeker is going to come from behind. You get it? Sex stuff. So Nautilus is going to be the one taking down this Fiddlesticks. The two tanks are alive, so they can tank up this turret pretty well. But now Nautilus is in a horrible situation. Going to have to flash over that wall and manages to get away from this one. So that was a 4-for-3 exchange in favor of that purple team, but 3 people lost the Baron buff. So not really the best trade that you could make from the purple team's perspective, but you know, they did still manage to come out on top on that one. I think they did a bit of turret damage on that. No, they didn't actually. They didn't even touch it once. So it was an alright siege. You got a couple kills, but you lost some Baron buffs as well. So you wonder if they might have been a little bit too greedy on that one and really wanted to see that fight happen. But NASA's really building up that tank stat there with the armor from the Sunfire cape, and also his home-guarded Mercury treads. But we're looking at Vayne's items here. She has a ton of damage, and she's now finally starting to build into a little bit more defensive items, where Caitlyn is actually opting just to go straight for the damage. I kind of find it curious that she's going for the Spectral's Cow, probably going to be going into a Banshee's Veil. I'm not sure how much I agree with that, more than I would agree with a Guardian Angel. But, you know what, I don't know, because I just feel like Akali is going to burn that with one Shadow Dash, and then you're just going to be left taking a ton of damage. But I guess you do get a good amount of magic resist from the Banshee's Veil. Maybe it'll thwart some of the damage coming out of the Akali, but I have no idea. This Vayne probably knows a lot more about the game than I do. So the ultimate being popped by both Vayne and Shyvana. She's going to use that Blade of the Ruin King proc to get away from this one. So very nice play on the Shyvana's part, but no summoners being used, just 2 ultimates. But here comes Nautilus, the Flash having to be burned by the Fiddlesticks, and Zonius is going to actually leave him right out in the open. That's going to be a dead Fiddlesticks, but it's also going to be a dead Syndra. The ultimate from the Caitlyn is actually going to land onto the Nautilus rather than the Morgana. That's going to be a dead Morgana, though, being taken down from this Caitlyn. The Nasus is now here, though, going to be doing a ton of damage with his ultimate up. The Siphoning Strike doing a ton of damage as well. He is probably going to be able to pick up. There we go. The Caitlyn is now dead, but he's taking a ton of shots from this turret. The Thresh is keeping him in the turret range for so long. The shutdown bonus is going to go onto the Akali, and it looks like that's going to be the end of this fight. That was a 2-for-3 exchange in favor of the blue team. But Vayne is now here. I wonder if they're going to try to make something out of this one. Nautilus is just sitting in here. Might actually be able to catch out this. Oh my god, the lifesteal coming out of Akali. So it looks like she is able to get into her Shroud, and a great hook landing from the Thresh. This is going to be a dead, probably Nautilus and Vayne. Oh my god, that hook coming out of the Thresh, landing onto the Vayne. That was the last thing they wanted to have happen, and that's an ace in favor of the blue team. And now the gold is damn near even. Only 500 gold separates these two teams at 33.5 minutes into this game. It's an incredibly action-packed game, and it's 32-31 in kills. Like, how many games go with this many kills? Everybody's just having a great time killing one another, and I gotta admit, I'm having a great time casting it. I love action-packed games and high kill games. But let's see where the kills are kind of going here. We have 2 people at 10 kills. The Akali on the blue team and the Syndra on the purple team. But looks like the kills are kind of evenly spread over a lot of people. The main thing that I have to point out is the 7 kills on the Caitlyn versus the 3 kills on the Vayne. But oh my god, Syndra, you are so dead. Zonia's having to be popped, no support from anybody here. And that's just going to be a very dead Syndra. So now Akali has set herself apart from the Syndra, and she's now at 11 kills to the 10 of that purple team mid laner. But geez, yeah, you cannot be pushed up that far with an Akali. But it looks like Nasa's going to do a ton of damage to this Akali. That's going to be a nice little revenge kill. And the later this game goes, this Nasus is just going to get terrifyingly strong. Already sitting at, got 522 extra damage. Just like, look at the damage coming out on those Qs. It's unbelievably strong right now. And he's going to be taking out turrets incredibly fast. And it looks like Nautilus being taken down a little bit here. He is very tanky though, so the Nasus is going to come in here, use his ultimate. Shyvana being taken down very, very low from this Vayne. Vayne is going to survive. The surprise party Fiddlesticks is going to come in though. This is going to be huge. Oh my god, what an ultimate coming out of Fiddle. That's going to be a double kill. Nasus is just trying to run for his life now. Morgana is going to try to support this one. Maybe land a Dark Binding, but the looks like the Twin Shadows is going to come out to kind of slow everybody down and maybe stop this fight. But man, this Fiddlesticks is just landing some great ultimates over these walls. And it's just become very, very difficult for the purple team to deal with. They're not taking him down quickly enough, so he's just able to jump in there with his ult and do an insane amount of damage. So it looks like everybody's just kind of posturing around the Baron right now. They're really going to want to get these wards up, make sure that a team just can't sneak that one away. With the Fiddlesticks, it is very easy to take Baron. But it's also very easy to take Baron with a Vayne and a Nasus. But Syndra, once again, did you not learn anything from the last time? Flash coming out of Akali, and that's going to be a dead Syndra. There's the Zonias with no support once again. Ah, Syndra, you can't be up that far with no support. It's a jungle Akali. It's very, very strong right now. So being 36 minutes into this game, the death timers are starting to be a little bit longer. So with a 38-second death timer, with already about 10 seconds being taken off of it, I wonder if the blue team is going to try to make a move for anything here. It looks like they're actually just kind of warding up, making sure that all the objectives are kind of covered right now. Nasus is down here soloing the dragon. Going to be very, very easy for him. Let's watch that siphoning strike and how much damage it's going to do. Boom! Just like tons of damage, like an eighth of the dragon's health. But it looks like we have everybody up here clearing the wards around the Baron. This is going to be the next big objective. Morgana did go for an Oracle's. Very, very smart move here. Akali now being fought by the Nautilus, but he's going to try to run away from this one. But Akali's now going to chase right onto this Morgana. I don't think she's actually going to be able to find this one, but she is going to be able to jump to a minion here if she gets in range, but nope. Looks like they are just going to back off this one. Vayne going to pick up some CS. Just looking at the CS now that I say that, 263 to 200 in favor of that Kate. Caitlyn's just done a remarkable job this game with her CS. I'm making sure she's constantly farming, and that's it's led to a pretty sweet amount of items onto the Caitlyn. But I was right in assuming that Vayne was going for that Banshee's Veil. Gonna see how that pays off for her. So far, she's been doing very, very well, managing to stay away from the damage and keeping alive in these fights. But Akali is now coming in for an attack. Gonna pop that Shroud. Morgana using her twin shadows to slow everybody down. But there we go. Kate has been grabbed by the Nautilus and by the Morgana. The ultimate coming out of the Morgana is still landing onto the Shyvana. Dragon's Descent coming out. But an amazing Fiddlesticks ultimate once again. A triple kill for the Fiddlesticks. And now it looks like Nasus might be in trouble here. The Thresh picking up the Nautilus in the meantime. Shyvana now trying to chase down this Nasus. But Nasus can definitely take down this Shyvana. But she is going to be saved by the shield and the lantern from the Thresh. And my god, I can't describe it enough how incredible this Fiddlesticks is doing with his ultimates. He has 12 kills and only 5 deaths. He's been doing so well this game. And it's kind of surprising to see because Fiddlesticks mid is just not a very standard champion. But that's what we love seeing, right? These unconventional picks in these series. Well, in this series. I love seeing them and how well they do against pretty standard champions, kind of like Syndra. And he's doing a very, very good job. Not really overly far behind in CS. Still is behind 46 CS, which is a big deal, but considering the fact that he does have 12 kills and only 5 deaths, he's really holding his own. But the gold lead is still in favor of this purple team, even if it is only by 600. 40 kills to 36 kills. So, God, 76 kills total this game. Oh, it's just been an awesome action-packed game. So Fiddlesticks now might be in a precarious situation. Syndra has missed every single skill shot imaginable right now. But Fiddle is very, very low on mana. Does now have the blue buff though, so there we go. Finally, the ultimate coming down from the Syndra is going to kill the Fiddlesticks now. This is a very, very big deal. That Fiddlesticks has been the one doing a great amount of work on the entirety of the purple team. So this could be the time that they could go for a Baron or an objective. But Caitlyn actually being locked down by the Morgana Q. And it looks like she's actually going to have to run away from this one and lifesteal or go back to base. So this is the perfect time for the purple team to go for a Baron. And look at that, Shyvana also taking a ton of damage from this Nasus. And Nasus is still nearly at full HP, so this is a perfect time for this purple team to take down this Baron. While Fiddlesticks still has 30 seconds left on its death timer. Caitlyn is lifestealing off of the Wolves, and they're going to try to get in for this one. Akali does have a Shadow Dash, so she can get in here to try to go for a steal, but it actually just looks like the blue team is just going to allow this one to happen. That's going to be a free Baron for the purple team. I just can't believe how back and forth this game has been. A couple great picks and a couple great little fights and skirmishes to get people low on the blue team has just allowed the purple team to pick up a free Baron buff. And Fiddlesticks is now finally coming up after his god, like 50-second death timer. So we're seeing now that if you lose a couple members of your team, it could very well be game ending with these long death timers now. But it looks like the blue team is now just kind of standing around their inhibitor turret in the mid lane, waiting for this siege to come. The Shroud being used by Akali. I think she was worried about getting engaged on or something like that. We're now just kind of setting up for a little bit of a surprise attack here. It doesn't look like anybody's going to be taking the bait right now, but it's kind of like a level 1 invade right now where they're just kind of walking through all these brushes. And it looks like the blue team is now just kind of walking up the mid lane. I don't know what's going to happen here. They are now saying not to B. Are they just going to fight this one? But no, it looks like Syndra did go B. So it looks like they're not really going to be able to fight this one. They really don't want to have a 4v5 fight without that Syndra. Syndra's now finally with her home guards trying to come into this one, but it looks like they did manage to catch out this Shyvana. Caitlyn is not with the blue team, so it would be 4-on-4 with two of the big damage dealers being away from both teams. But it looks like they are just going to kind of run away from this one. Morgana now going back. I have to say I don't really agree with this right now. Nasus is going back as well. They're just kind of wasting this Baron buff. People going back one by one. It's just not smart, and you see this in solo queue a lot where one person will go B, other people won't go B, and then you're not grouped up as a team for the entirety of your Baron buff, or you only have like 30 seconds of your Baron buff left by the time that everybody finally manages to group up. So it looks like they are finally grouping up now. Well, Syndra, once she stops, I don't know, taking wraiths or something like that with her Baron buff. But Nasus does have his teleport available, so he's going to go to the spot lane and start split pushing. Definitely the smart thing to do, because Nasus right now is so damn big. 10, 5, and 8 with God knows how much on his Siphoning Strike. I do actually just want to check this out. 615 damage on his Siphoning Strike. The teleport coming out of the Nasus. Now the big team fight is now going down in the jungle. A small corridor is not good for the purple team with this Dragon's Descent and the Fiddlesticks ultimate, but the Fiddlesticks is dead. He already had used his Zhonya's Hourglass, and that got taken down. But the purple team is now on just a rampage here. Thresh being the only person alive, and now this is going to be a dead Thresh as well. That's going to be a 5-for-0 ace. And I think this is very well going to be the game for the purple team and our jungle Nautilus. You can just see how much damage this Nasus is going to do to these turrets. The turret being taken down in the top lane. I don't know why Vayne is not currently with her team in the mid lane, because this is just going to be game ending if they just group up. But yeah, exactly. They're pinging the Vayne, just like come to the team. It would just end the game. So it looks like the purple team is just going to end this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Jungle Nautilus, our featured unconventional pick of this game, did a phenomenal job, I have to say, especially in the early game, snowballing his lanes. He did a great job. And you know what? I got to even give props to the jungle Akali doing a great job, and also the other unconventional pick, the mid lane Fiddlesticks, also doing amazing in that mid lane with some incredible and notable ultimates in those really small corridors, taking a ton of kills for his team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that game, and I will see you guys in the next video.